Hey guys, we're out here at the Bell TIFF Lightbox, and if you haven't been here yet, it's been open for about a year now. It's about time Toronto had something like this, like a center that's dedicated just for people who appreciate good cinema, and hotDocs definitely falls into that category. I was on my way to see National Parks Project at the Royal Cinema tonight, but I was going to be late, so I decided to divert my original plan and come here instead and see GNARR. It's kind of fitting that this is the film I ended up choosing to see, seeing as the polls here in Canada were closing right around the time that this film was starting. It's an interesting film, you know, like it's about this comedian essentially in Iceland who sort of enters the race to be mayor of Reykjavik as a joke, essentially creating this fake party called the Best Party. Spoiler alert, he wins, and he goes on TV and he gives interviews and basically gives a lot of sort of nonsense answers, and somehow the Best Party manages to beat the other sort of parties that have kind of traditionally been running things. And I guess it just goes to show that eventually people just get sick of the status quo and they want to bring change. They want something new in their government. We here in Canada apparently don't. There are a lot of vocal people on Facebook and Twitter talking about how it's time for a change, we've got to get the Conservatives out, and yet they were voted back in with a majority, so they're kind of stronger than they ever were before.
What's the message in the movie?
I would like to say anything about it. If you know what the message is, okay, then the film is good. If I have to say it here after the screening, it's a bad film.
Earlier today I saw a really, really great documentary. It's called Invisible Strings, and it's about two basically child prodigy sisters who are really, really good at playing the violin. The story's kind of interesting because they basically have this kind of archetypal relationship where the older sister is jealous of the younger sister because she happens to be that much better than her, and she's a little bit prettier than her, and sort of everyone kind of favors her over the older sister, and that creates this tension. But at the same time, the sisters have this weird connection because of some weird thing that happened where there was a third sister that died at the age of 2, and now the family's convinced that this younger sister, who happens to be like this amazing violinist, they're convinced that she's actually like possessed by the spirit of the sister that died when she was 2. I don't know, it was weird. That aspect of it I found kind of distracting, but overall it's just insanely fascinating to watch somebody play violin like that and to talk about it and to talk about their struggles. You get to like pull back the curtain and really see what life is like for people who can, do these extraordinary things that you will never be able to talk. You will never understand what it's like to be 14 years old and playing the violin and blowing everybody's minds, and then having to come back out for standing ovations while your older sister, who plays pretty much just as well, has to kind of sit there and sulk because she's not getting the attention that you are. Interesting subject matter. I gotta say, I'm pretty amazed at just the level of quality of films in this current edition of hotDocs. I feel like, I don't know, I should go back and check my figures, but I'm pretty sure that like 2% of what I've seen has been either unwatchable or unenjoyable in some way. Everything else has at least been interesting. It's at least been entertaining. There's been, like, the entertainment factor of the films I've seen is higher than I would say of last year's hotDocs or the one before. It's just I don't know, somehow this particular batch of films, like, they just managed to nail down some really interesting subject matter and like get some really talented filmmakers behind the films to craft something that will have you at the edge of your seat. It's quite amazing. What I'm looking forward to the most for tomorrow is You've Been Trumped. It's playing at 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. at the Bloor, and it's basically a story about Donald Trump's mission to build the best golf course in the world. Kind of fitting film to see, considering that the Donald has been in the news a lot lately. But either way, Looking forward to seeing that film tomorrow. I'm also going to try and check out some panel discussions, but I don't know if I'm going to make it to any. Got a lot of editing to do. I got to put together the interview we did with the National Parks Project filmmakers. I've got a bunch of footage from Morgan Spurlock. I had a few minutes with him on Thursday, and I want to give you guys the extended version of that interview for Friday. We talked to Alan Zweig for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and he had some incredible things to say, so we got to boil down that interview into something you guys can watch and enjoy. And so there's just lots of stuff going on at thesubstream.com for hotDocs. Stay tuned.